Yes, face French true believers. Welcome to issue, what is it, 122 of the Pitch Nerds. We are the weekly show where two nerds assemble to bring you the latest nerdy news, reviews, and occasionally pitch things and pit goobers against each other in epic nerdy discussion battles. I'm Cap, and joining me today, as always, best friend, fellow nerd, and KGB operative, Mr. Frosty. Mr. Frosty, how are you doing this fine morning?
I'm doing all right. Just chilling.
Always.
I don't know if you should say that. Like, that's dangerous.
Shh, I'm not blowing your cover.
Uh,
Anywho, my goodness, what do we
One day
have?
I'm gonna reverse it on you. I'm gonna pull the speech from fucking what was that movie? Oh, the one with Heath Ledger, A Knight's Tale. You know, where Chaucer's like, I first met him near atop a mountain near Jerusalem, praying to God for the sins spilled by his sword. Next, he amazed me even more. That's the best intro anyone's ever gotten ever. Have you seen that movie? That's a
I,
great
I
movie.
actually have not.
Oh my god. Okay, well that's definitely going on the list.
Well, that sounds like a behold nerds. Speaking of behold
Yeah.
nerds, finally got around to watching Everything Everywhere All at Once. Ooh, wait, a movie gave me the willies in some ways. But we'll get into
We'll
that.
get to it. Yeah, for
My goodness, we have the ever.
I can't believe I've seen Knight's Tale. Like I watched that movie when when I was
So
living in the UK,
I'm sure I've seen it. It's just one of those movies where I might have just seen once, and it just sort of just got squeezed out of my brain.
when I was living in the UK and I was going to college,
Mm.
I didn't really have anything. I had a shitty little handheld TV, but I had my American stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had a transformer so I could plug it in, and I had all these VHS tapes. And
Robots in disguise.
one of them was A Knight's Tale, and so like I watched that so many times at college.
Really?
I almost know that movie like backwards, frontwards. I know all the deleted scenes. I've listened to the commentary. I mean, I know that movie. Like,
So for me, my college movie was the Resident Evil movie. I don't know why.
okay.
Like that movie. So that movie gave me borderline episode 1 vibes, where it's like my brain saw what it saw. There's
stuff I
things that there
like
was,
in it.
yeah, there was stuff that I liked about it, but there's something that was just like, yo, red
that,
alert.
that that husband wife team. Like I like Mila Jokovic, but
Yeah.
like her husband, the way he's just like I don't know, like it'd be cool if she was in a different movie, like
Right.
different direction sometimes, you know.
Right.
Like I mean, I get it. Like it's cool that you make your wife this like supreme goddess, like
Mm.
of nerddom and stuff, and I can totally appreciate that, and
Right.
especially if you're married to Mila Jokovic, like I'd probably do the same if I was in those shoes.
Right.
But like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just there's been a lot of those movies, and like, or maybe he needs to direct a different kind of movie.
Right. So,
Like, keep your wife, but do a different style, maybe.
right. No, I get it. I'm not sure if I like her or not. Like, I do. She's like the Will Ferrell for me of like action movies, where it's like at surface level, it's like I don't. It's Will Ferrell, but then I'll watch something with her in it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it.
I
It's
like her. You know what movie people didn't like, but I enjoyed with her in it? That's the same kind of thing.
mm,
Ultraviolet. Did you see that one?
I know of it, didn't see it.
Yeah, it's gotten pretty poor reviews, and yeah, I can see why, but there's something kind of just like enjoyable about it anyway for me.
Mm,
And my favorite thing is there's an Uzi, but instead of like a long clip, it's like a fucking katana blade, and it's like and slice.
nice.
And then they pull weapons out of like they have them like downloaded and stuff, and so she just like pulls them out of the air basically. Like the tech just kind of, I guess maybe it's hard light or something. They don't fully explain it.
Like
Yeah,
a lantern kind of sort of construct.
sort of, but it's more like tech based. You know what I mean? Like you see it kind of unfold in your hand. It's like you download it into reality. Like
Interesting.
uh, maybe like a really fast 3D printer that uses light. Maybe I guess.
You know that's funny because I have something like that in Quantum, so I'll check that out. I actually have something very similar to that in Quantum, so I'm intrigued. See, the universe brought us to this moment, Frosty.
Well,
Actually,
maybe that could be another one.
you know what's cool? That there's also a lot of
Gotta
inspirational
add these
stuff
to the
from.
list or
But
something.
yeah. We should. I'll start writing these down. I have no notepad here. But
We get stuck with.
I know. But I'll say it again. If I'm pretty sure I've said it on this show. I hate this fucking movie to a burning passion. The Fifth Element. I hate
Oh,
that fucking movie. It's
do you hate it because of the one character, or do you
so
just not like the movie
he
overall?
just sort of just like
I mean, was he
stop.
your Ewok essentially? Yeah,
So
yeah.
you know what it is. In my once he entered the movie, I hear Ralph Wiggum in my head saying stop, stop. I find the universe interesting. I like the effects. There's a lot I do like about the movie. It's you know what
Well, we've discussed before how.
I'd almost put it in the same plot as Valerian, where it just the main character's acting is so bad, but the universe is so
Well, those
fascinating.
movies are made by the same guy.
Oh, you don't really?
Yeah. It's James
Wow!
Franco.
Wow! I didn't know that.
You can
So
totally tell, like they have the scene with like Bubble, and then in the other in Fifth Element they have the scene with the blue chick. You know, there's a lot of elements
yeah,
that borrow from one another. They didn't put in the Ewok. So to me, I call that the Ewok moment. I
right.
mean, because it's like we've talked about it before. Like Ewoks kind of ruined Jedi for me. The grunts ruined Halo for you. And I'm able to
Both
look
of us will
past that character.
staunchly defend like this too. This is the one thing that we can never, ever. This is the like our battlefront right here is between the Ewoks and the Grunts.
No, I mean I get it. Like, I think it's just like certain things just annoy you, like and there's nothing you can do it.
Right,
Like for me, and I could see why you would be like that character would ruin the Fifth Element for you.
right,
I'm able to kind of look past it and just kind of go, yeah, he's annoying, but whatever, and
right.
enjoy everything else. Like I mean. Corbin Dallas Multipass is one of my favorite scenes of all the cinema. Multipass, yes, it's the multipass. You know?
Right. So there are some things that I do enjoy about it. The number one most being the that operatic scene. Absolutely gorgeous song. But yeah, that scene, the fucking boarding pass and just I don't know. I like the universe. I thought Gary Oldman was just bizarre in this movie, and I know that's how there's just this weird silliness to it, almost like like an unwieldy George Lucasy type silliness to it. That's what it is. It's almost
I
like it.
didn't find it that silly. Like Gary Oldman was weird, but like he was still within range. I didn't have an issue with it.
Mm,
And like, yeah, there were silly moments, like like, oh, where do you learn to negotiate? But it was all fun, I had a good time.
right.
I
I'm
mean,
not
it's fine though. I understand.
right.
Um, but anyway,
Anyway.
we should probably jump on to the news.
Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Um, so okay, well, let's see. I was starting with. See, we all know the Fantastic Four cast was announced.
Yes.
A bunch of people I don't really know, and then Pedro Pascal.
Right.
And
The
I mean, I'm
whitest South
sure.
American ever.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter.
I know,
get that.
but
Anyway, but Pedro Pascal says he's beyond excited to star in Fantastic Four. Direct quote: "To be invited to a family like that is unbelievable,
mm.
and we all just want to do our best and share it with the world." So that's the kind of attitude I like.
So how do
You
you
know what I
think
mean?
we're going to get Reed Richards? Because he can be kind of a jerk at times. We got a little bit of that
There's a
portrayal with
lot of
Pym.
discussion about that online, is because Reed Richards. Like, fortunately, in Marvel, there's Hank Pym to take that pressure off him as worse.
Right. Right. I was just about ready to say, yeah, Pym. They sort of touched on that with Pym a little bit in the
Yeah,
MCU.
there are moments in the comic where, yeah, he's kind of focused on science and he gets so involved in it. I
Right.
think of him more as an absent-minded professor
Yeah.
than someone that intentionally is cruel about it. Because when push comes to shove, he defends his family,
Right.
and he totally is like. There's moments with his kids and stuff, and you see he's not a bad guy. He just, I think he just forgets, because he's so into what he's doing, and
Right.
that's why he's able to do what he does.
Mm.
And yeah, there was a lot of storylines with Sue being like, "Oh, my husband doesn't pay attention to me."
Right.
Hello, Namor, and he shows up and he's in his little speedo and he's like,
Right.
"Hey, Sue,"
His little fucking wings on his feet.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I get it. Like, and he's like the bad boy and everything like
Right.
that. But I mean, ultimately, in my opinion,
He's a man of his work.
Yeah, but Fantastic Four, though, like, honestly, we already had Fantastic Four. It was called Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
It's basically the same.
Right.
I mean, like, at its core, it's a family dynamic. It's a psychedelic space journey.
Mm.
That's classic Fantastic Four.
Right.
And as long as they do that, some of the art is a little bit like, okay.
Mm.
But I don't know. I'm gonna choose to be positive on this, and because it's one of my favorite all-time comics. So I'm gonna choose to be positive and see, give him more, let him,
So as far as
but what I was saying though, Pedro Pascal saying that, I like that when an actor is like excited about a project.
Right.
Like, I think that's a problem is when they hire people that like just don't give a shit.
Mm.
Like I forget, like someone who was involved with Batman v Superman was like super like, oh, I'm at the end of my career with this. Like, there's so many people that would be stoked to be working on that project. You know what I mean? Like, why would you hire this guy?
Yeah. Well, on that Fantastic Four note, rumor is we're going to see potential Battle World in the MCU. Okay. So whatever that end of time is that they introduced in Loki. What's that area called?
The God of Stories, Loki.
Yeah, God of Stories, but they introduced that like end of time where we saw the Thanos copter and that extra dimensional goober was going around that was eating people. People are saying that or speculating that that's going to be like the MCU's version of Battle World, and we're gonna hopefully see like a Thor core because they're going to have to steer away from Jonathan Majors now with Kang. So
that's what I have heard. They're steering away from Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. So
you know who I think they should make the main villain at the MCU at the moment? Kingpin. Just do Kingpin.
Yeah, shrink it down a little bit. Yeah, shrink it down. Yeah.
Well, I mean, have Kingpin be like this, like freaking global threat,
Right.
What I mean? Like,
but through like political influence, like that'd be great, and then you can use him to bring in the Dark Avengers. That'd be cool. Yeah. Fucking hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm down for that. Give us a bag of money.
And also, he's like the best villain they got right now.
He really is. Willem Dafoe, or not Willem Dafoe. Was it? My God, the actor's name. Yeah, I forget his name. No, so good. He's so good.
Yeah, I loved it. My favorite scene in what was it? The recent show. Blanking on the name of the show, Echo. Was when because it was just so like dark and chilling when he was just like, he's like, you can go or you're dismissed, and then she like walks and then she's walking towards that plastic, and I'm like, wait, are they just gonna kill her? And then you hear her like, please just let me go, and then and then like he's just eating his pasta, or like when that one guy is mean to Echo when she's like a little girl, like. And then he's like seething mad, so he goes over and he beats that guy like almost to death.
Right.
And then like he turns and he sees like Echo watching him as a little girl, and then he's like, "Oh, let me explain," and all that. And then she just comes over and starts booting the dude herself. And, like,
get in on this, sweetie. I didn't like how she resolve that situation at the end. Like I can I can get it. It's just
I figured people would be either yay or nay about it. But I figured people would be like, wait, no, because it's not. Again, I think people don't like it when you give them something unexpected, and her just like freaking ending like taking away his childhood like trauma like that. Like
curing him through like they never, her powers were ill-defined. Like all of a sudden she has like ancestral powers of everything, It just
Yeah, but I mean,
like I don't like that. And then it's like I
I
have.
agree. I don't like ill-defined powers,
Uh,
but it was building towards that as the thing went on, of like touching into her ancestors
uh,
and stuff.
so
I think they went maybe too far with that. Well, no, because they showed her mom healing,
why
so
did
that
it
was
have to be so in the comic? She was just an assassin who was deaf, and
she
that's
had
like.
some power, I think,
I mean,
but
she played, but still, compared to Daredevil, they were on similar grounds, and one's blind but has like the radar power. One's deaf and has her own type of radar power. Like that's cool in and of itself, and then to give her ill-defined ancestral power to force touch
I'm
kingpins to
wondering
Care Bear
how.
stare the kingpin. Uh,
Yeah, no, I get it. I
uh,
will say this though. I mean, I agree with you to a point, but like, was it ill-defined? Because they did set up that her mom had healing power in the
right,
beginning,
but
so she
why
was
did you
healing.
need all that?
Well, no, I
Why?
know, I get what you're saying.
It's
I'm just,
so
just
so you know what it is. So my favorite scene in the whole series was it the dude who's working at the tourist shop at the reservation and the
yeah.
whiteys are there and he puts down this tchotchke and he starts buy this dumb crap, buy this dumb crap, buy like that was perfect. It was perfect. Like it was the best scene in the freaking series. That was Disney's version of this. It's like the inverse of that, where it's like, okay, now let's take this character who's Native American, but let's make that the focus, not the fact that she's the niece of the kingpin trained assassin who's deaf. There's enough interest there than to have to tack on this other crap to just make her
You see,
Super
most
Saiyan.
people think the opposite about that show. Not so much the power set, but most people think the show shined best when they were going into her heritage, because they worked with like the people of the tribes and stuff like that to get it right,
Okay,
and
but
everyone was like,
that's fine. But why? Like, why did it need to be about? I feel like it's pandering to just take a character that it wasn't its focus. Like that, it existed, but it never needed. It was never touched on. And then all of a sudden, now it's let's make that the basis of everything to this character. It's just
I enjoyed that aspect of her character.
I
Like,
just it's okay.
I mean,
Now
if they
she has
did it,
everything power.
they did it
It's
in a pandering manner,
mm,
like where it was just like people writing bullshit down and it was stupid, then I would have issue with it. But they did it. They treated it with like respect. Like what was the recent one, Ms. Marvel?
mm,
You know, like where like the cultural aspect was important to the character,
right.
and they treated it with respect. They worked with people that like understood the religion and
Right, but see
background.
that is sort of more essential to Captain Marvel than it is to Echo, her heritage and
Because I
the
mean, the whole point is like she's this like Native American character. She has like her face painted.
yeah
I mean, like I think it's essential to her character. But
yeah.
I mean, the
Anyways,
powers though, like I was kind of I can understand why people would not like it, but I do think like hear me out. They did set up her mom had healing power. She used healing power on him to win.
mm,
And then the other thing that the whole show was setting up was they have this ability to tap into like their ancestors and stuff.
mm.
So that was I do think I mean I agree, and even they mentioned this on Pinch Beating. They were like, what are our powers? Whatever we want them to be. And like it made me laugh. But then I was thinking about it, like, is it true? I don't know. I don't really have a lot of negative things to say about the series. I actually think it shined best. I agree with like a lot of the critics. Shined best when they're focusing on that stuff. When they were focusing away from it, like the stuff with the roller derby and stuff like that, I was kind of bored.
That
Um,
was filler.
but overall, and then she was like, "I'm gonna MacGyver this thing together," and I was like, "Okay, sure,"
Yeah.
like, but overall, I thought it was an excellent series. I can't wait for more of those.
Mm.
I forget we got way off on a tangent though.
No,
I think.
you were talking about. Anyways, yeah. Moving on. This was
But yeah,
Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four.
yeah, Fantastic Four. No,
Right.
but I like it when actors get excited for that. But
Right.
anyway, so, oh, I guess I missed the top part of that. So Robert Downey Jr. He was accepting his SAG award for Best Supporting Actor
Mm,
for Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer won a bunch of awards for the
right.
SAG. But he said, "I like this quote. Why do things seem to keep? Sorry. Why do things seem to be going my way? Unlike my fellow nominees, I will never grow tired of the sound of my voice."
I think he's just
I mean, I'm glad everything's going because I mean, he had a time a while back, like where like
he
things were not
was
going.
he. I think when he was the first Iron Man movie, he was only paid like 300 grand or something like that. And then by the time you reach Endgame levels, he's getting paid like 52 million.
Yeah, well,
And plus all the back end, that is the true ascension right there.
he was still doing okay though. Like someone was talking about it, they're like, he would get paid quite a bit for just doing an episode of Ally McBeal every once in a while.
Right.
Yeah, I know he's vaguely part of that show. Like he died or something, so he shows up as a ghost sometimes and talks to her. I
That's
think.
funny.
I don't know. My dad watched it, and I was around, so I kind of absorbed a little
Like
bit
my
of it.
proxy proxy
Yeah.
viewership.
But it's not a show I recommend watching. I don't know. It is weird enough though that shit goes on. You can't help but like look at the screen and be like, "What the hell is going
Yeah.
on here?"
Through ambient osmosis. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
Like, I mean, there's an episode where John Lennon's there just playing piano and singing, and like
No
the character's
context.
like, "Who's that?" And then they're like, "It's John." Oh yeah, sorry,
Elton John.
Lennon.
Elton John.
Elton John. Yeah, they're like, "Who?" They're like, "It's Elton John," and they're like, "Who's that?" And it's like, and you can't help but look when you see stuff like that.
Right.
Anyway. So apparently Rachel Brosnahan, I think she's going to be playing one of the new characters. Again, not an actor I know much about. So she's seen the new Superman suit and calls it amazing.
Hell yes.
I cannot wait for everyone to see it. They showed an image flying, but I can't. No confirmation on Trunks or no Trunks. Cap is pro Trunks.
I'm pro Trunks. No, you know what? I don't want to call it Trunks. I'm pro red along the crotch area, just to sort of break up the blue. Kind of works well with the belt, because otherwise it just looks like a stripper, with the lingeries where you have the sexy belt, like sexy police officer.
I think the belt breaks it up enough for me. I'm not anti Trunks. I just prefer no Trunks.
I am against puffy Trunks. I'm pro streamline, if that makes sense. So I'm sure you're pro streamline versus diaper Trunks, right? No puffies.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I mean, I would be okay with like more like a gym boxers kind of style, like basketball shorts.
Okay.
Like why not? I know why. It's because it has to be tight to his skin. So
Yeah.
he shouldn't wear a cape really when you think about it.
Right.
Because the whole thing is
No capes.
His aura like protects like his clothes from getting torn or dirty.
Yeah.
And so, but it doesn't work on his cape. It has to be held against his skin. That's like their explanation for why he wears skin tight clothes.
Oh.
But anyway, it makes sense though, because then you start asking yourself like, how come he can lift all that shit without just jackknifing through it?
Force field.
Well, no, they explain it that his aura kind of goes around, and that's what he like lifts evenly across the way.
Mm-hmm.
That's the official explanation as to why he can pull that off. His son, interestingly enough, doesn't have
that power. So he just flies through everything.
Yeah, like he talked about it a few times. He's like, I can't just use my strength; I'll just jackknife through shit.
So I'll ask you this. I was watching John Campea talk about the Superman movie.
Which one?
The James Gunn one that's being worked on right now. So he says that the trailer for this movie is probably going to be one of the most important movie trailers of our generation.
That's a lot. I don't know.
That's a big thing. So he said they're like culturally relevant movie trailer, if you will. He said, and I didn't even think about this until I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. He said that there's one. According to John Campea, in his opinion, what do you think would be the most important movie trailer ever released?
No, most important movie trailer ever released.
Like culturally relevant movie trailer ever released. Within, we've seen it. We definitely know the movie.
I'm sure we do. I just can't think of one that important or that. Maybe Jurassic Park, or actually maybe even more so Independence Day, because that movie's not that great of a movie, but the trailer was so like everyone was
Mind
like,
blowing.
"Hell yeah, I'm gonna go see this shit."
Right.
And the same thing sort of thing happened with Jurassic Park. So I would say one or one or the other, but I
So
don't know if that's
so episode 1.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said that this kind of carries episode 1 level expectations to, really sell it. It's like, oh, that's a bad movie to compare it to. Because I remember when they.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not though, because like episode one mattered because we didn't have Star Wars for a
Right.
long time.
Right.
There was always the talk because it was like, oh well, that's episode 4, and it's like, oh really,
Right.
and so well, where's 1, 2, 3, and then people were like, also there's another 3 after that, and I'm like, there is
What?
and,
Nani?
and yeah, so but the thing is like. I mean, I maybe if you're young, you would think that, but like I'm an old fart. Every once in a while, there's a Superman movie. Every once in a while, there's a Batman movie.
Right.
Yeah, I mean the superhero wave is gonna crash, and it kind of already is a little bit. I mean, but
yeah.
I mean, it'll come back up. We'll get more of these,
Oh, of course.
Will
But
I be alive
it was
for
interesting hearing that because. When they released the Phantom Menace trailer, it was during, if you remember the show Home Improvement. They were typing up all week, and sitting there watching Home Improvement, and all of a sudden, boom! There's a trailer, and you see the fucking goobers coming out of the tall grass, and then it just. Oh, it grabbed you, but it sucks that the movie was terrible. So
Avengers was a pretty big one.
Right, Avengers was another good one too.
Because that was
that was an amalgam.
Yeah, and it changed cinema. That was like the big like holy shit movie. Like when you watched it, you were like, "Oh my god, I've never seen anything like this." And like it didn't even matter if the movie was good or bad. It was just
the spectacle, right? I remember watching that with my mom, and she just was grinning from ear to ear the entire movie.
My mom did not enjoy it. I made her watch it, and she was like very confused. And then she was saying stuff. Oh, it strikes me the Iron One's the most useful one of the bunch, and she would get them confused and stuff like that. And yeah, it was.
Like, Mom, that's Iron Man. Shut up.
Yeah, but I mean, what my dad sat through several MCU movies with me just because he would come up and visit, and I'd be like, let's go to the movies, and he'd be like, fine. And the one he has enjoyed most was Ragnarok.
Okay.
After we saw that one, he turned to me and said, "That's the best one."
Ragnarok was great.
I mean, he hasn't seen all of them, but like of the ones he saw like Guardians of the Galaxy, he saw like Ragnarok, he saw Avengers. I can't remember a few others.
Yeah, we still need to get your mother to watch Suicide Squad.
I know. Anyway, but yeah, so let us know. Are you guys pro Trunks or anti Trunks, or you don't care?
Yes. Are you pro Trump or anti Trump? Let us know down below.
Oppenheimer has become the 5th highest grossing R-rated film of all time, domestically passing It.
Nice. It's still at the top as Passion of the Christ and Deadpool. Did Deadpool ever take Passion of the Christ? I don't think it did. But
I mean, I don't really have any interest in seeing Passion of the Christ. I read the book, so. Lionsgate is looking to do a modern remake of American Psycho. I don't know if we need a.
Do we need a new one? I
mean,
thought
it feels like it's pretty modern. I mean, I guess it's old now, but like,
I mean, it's technologically dated. I guess like surrounding dated, but story isn't dated.
Yeah, it just feels like a period piece now,
Right.
My favorite scene is when they're comparing the business cards, and they're all like basically the same, and then he's like, and like he's all like blown away by like he's like all the lettering, and then the color, and like, oh, it's so good. Did you see the sequel? Because like
No,
the thing
I
with
only saw the first one.
so the sequel wasn't even supposed to be a sequel to that. It was just supposed to be a different movie.
Hmm.
But then like they realized like, oh, nobody's gonna see this shit.
Because it wasn't
So
Christian
they'll
Bale,
make
was it?
no, Christian Bale wasn't. It had Mila Kunis in it.
Oh,
I don't think it didn't get good reviews. I don't think if you watch it just as it is for what it is, it was that bad.
so you're just hearing Meg the whole time?
Yeah, but she's like it's weird. She plays this like student who's like studying psycho killers, and like she was the tie-in, and they tacked it on at the very end. They made this movie, realized no one was going to see it, and then they called it American Psycho 2, and they did a tiny little thing in the beginning where he's about to kill her, and then she kills him,
Oh,
and then that's the only way these movies are connected. They did, and then she ends up becoming a student that like studies like killers, but then she ends up killing herself, not herself, but killing someone, and taking their identity. And then it's similar where she falls down that like, well, what's going on thing. Kinda. But yeah, it's I don't know. I don't think it was a bad movie. I just think people were expecting American Psycho 2, and they didn't get American Psycho 2.
Right.
They got Mila Kunis.
Shut
I
up.
like Mila Kunis.
Shut up, Meg.
Anyway, but yeah, I agree. I think it sounds like we're both in agreement. We don't need a remake of that. Yeah.
No, I think that would take away from how good Christian Bale was in the first movie, because he went full method in that movie, and I don't know the actor's name, but the one who plays Homelander, where you could the eyes and just the expression, it's just
He always does. Like it's the weirdest part, and it's why I love Thor: Love and Thunder. Because you got what's his name, Chris Hemsworth, and what's her name, the Jane Foster actress.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. You got them just being like, "Hey, let's crack jokes," and "Hey, oh look at me, I'm naked," and
right.
Then you got Christian Bale over here. It's like,
I think he was the best part of the movie. I don't like MCU version of gore, but I liked Christian Bale's character. I like what they.
I enjoyed that like dynamic though of the movie, that it was like these two like things that you had to slam together, and it was just so different. You know? Like I found that amusing. Apparently he's like super like in character on set too. Like
yeah.
He's a method. Anyway, where were we? A DC animated film based on the Jurassic League is in the works.
Ooh.
James Gunn will produce, with Brian Lynch from Minions writing the script.
Jurassic League. Who's the
Jurassic League? It's like the Justice League, but like they're dinosaurs.
But dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Dinosaur Batman?
Yeah, but it's like Google like Jurassic League. You'll see what I mean. They look like the Justice League, but they're like dinosaur people.
Like the Thunder Lizards?
Yeah, kind of like.
League.
Yeah, if you do Jurassic League.
Oh
DC,
God. God, the Joker looks terrifying. Oh my God. Whoa! Flash looks cool. Ooh, Flash looks badass. Okay. Then Superman looks like a porpoise-ish. Ooh. Oh, Batman. Oh, Batman. Oh, yeah, Batman.
Yeah, Batman.
Oh, Wonder Woman looks cool as fuck. Ooh, I like Wonder Woman. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Wonder Woman's the like fucking
The Triceratops, all the. Okay.
What is? I guess Batman.
Batman's a T-Rex.
Yeah, but Superman. What is he like? One of those.
He's a brachiosaur.
Yeah.
but he looks like a porpoise. He looks he looks kind of like a what's his name, Alan from Invincible a little bit, just in sort of
Yeah, a
like
little bit.
shape. Okay,
It's called Super Sore.
I like how Wonder Woman is a chunky Triceratops. That is awesome. I love how they didn't try to like make her like a feminine dinosaur. They just went, no, you're chunk and you're Wonder Woman and you're Triceratops. It's got the like it's spikes and everything. Hell yeah.
That's cool. But
Oh,
anyway, so what do you think? Would you watch an animated
I watched
James
this.
Gunn produced Brian Lynch from Minions writing the script for
Eh,
this show?
sure. Oh, it'll be a behold, nerds.
I would definitely give it a watch. That just sounds interesting. Like,
Oh, here they are fighting Darkseid. Oh. Oh, let's see here. There's Aquaman. I love how Wonder Woman's got like a little nubby tail.
anyway.
You got-
This is Warner Brothers news. So Warner Brothers just took a $115 million tax write-down on projects, mostly related to the animated film division.
Uh-oh. Sketties.
No official word if Coyote versus Acme is going to be part of that write-down. Because that was the one that was like canceled and people fought to get it back and stuff like that. So
I love
I'm not
Coyote.
sure if we're going to get it or not.
Coyote's my favorite.
Coyote is my favorite too. That and I like Taz. But you know what's interesting about the Looney Tunes?
Mm.
When you think about it, like take Coyote versus Roadrunner. Coyote is like very smart, well spoken.
Mm.
He comes up with these crazy plans and like he understands science and technology and all this. Cultured.
Mm-hmm.
And he just gets bodied by Roadrunner, who effortlessly beats him.
Right.
I think the point of these cartoons, it's the same thing like Bugs Bunny. He's not particularly good at anything. He just he doesn't work for what he's got. He's just better than whoever he's up against.
So
all the time.
here's the problem. If you think of Roadrunner can warp reality around itself, right? So the times where Coyote will paint the faux tunnels for the Roadrunner to smack into the wall, but it'll just run through it. Yeah, because it's got like fucking Speed Force tech. It can warp reality. That's why the Coyote doesn't have that power. He's just a simple man of science. So he's trying to come up with these crazy things because he's fighting something that can literally just say nope. Because I'm the Roadrunner. Nope. Roadrunner has nope powers. Same thing with.
No.
So now
My
Right.
theory on this is the point of those cartoons is to teach you that no matter how hard you try, no matter how smart you are, no matter how much effort you put in, there's always going to be someone that's just naturally better than you.
Right.
And I think that's what those cartoons are teaching, because it works with Bugs Bunny, it works with any of the protagonists.
Mm-hmm.
They are all these just effortlessly. The other guys, like they're having to like hunt, and
Right.
follow rules on hunting season,
Mm-hmm.
and they just get bodied by Bugs Bunny every single time. Like, so yeah, like no matter how hard you try, someone's always gonna be better than you, kids.
Yeah.
You're always gonna fail.
Favorite Looney Tunes, go.
I mean, like episode? Or
No, just like characters. Looney
yeah,
Tunes
like I
characters.
said, Coyote's definitely up there.
Love Coyote. I love Marvin. I love Rotor.
I do like Marvin. I like Duck Dodgers in the 24th.
Duck Dodgers in the century.
They're all good. I don't really, but I always enjoyed Roadrunner vs. Coyote probably.
Those are my favorites. That was because my dad. God, the one that scared me was an old black and white one with Donald Duck. It was the ones where these guys are like stuck in a bunker or something, and all they have are beans. And Daffy shows up, and they just want the duck because they're hungry because all they have are beans. And there's this scene at the end where Daffy's face turns into this weirdly drawn just face, and it just scared the crap out of me as a kid. Like I hated that episode. I would leave the room and cover my ears and close my eyes, just knowing that scene would come up because it would just scare the crap out of me. I'll send it to you later with the timestamp. But
Okay.
yeah.
If I can, I'll post it on Twitter if
Mm.
anybody's watching. Um, anyway, so yeah, well, I hope Coyote versus Acme stays.
It's
That
just
sounds like a cool.
him fighting his way through the WB backlot.
I have no idea what it's about, but I'm always down for more Looney Tunes.
It's John Wick. Yeah, Coyote would be the John Wick, and then it's just him going through the WB Batlot. There you go. So it'd almost be like the end of Pee Wee's Big Adventure, but with Coyote, with Acme power. Like, anyways,
I'm wondering if there is a synopsis. Adapted from a New Yorker story by Ian Fraser, Coyote vs. Acme follows the wily Coyote as he takes the infamous Acme Corporation to court over their inferior products. The movie blends the cartoon style of Looney Tunes with live action, and it continues Warner Brothers. Blah blah blah.
no,
So
the products aren't inferior. It's just Roadrunner warps reality around him.
they
Like,
break a lot. No, that's true, but they do not work a lot. Like he'll like have like a thing set through a
yeah.
boulder, and then he pulls it, and then it flips over this way and fucking hits him instead.
Right, so
You know?
it's the fucking Roadrunner. The Roadrunner sees that it has no powers. No.
God, what are you, a lawyer for Acme now? Like, you can't blame the Roadrunner. Where's the proof, man? Like,
Damn it, Frosty, you just had me a light bulb pops in my head. We should have a mock trial where I will be.
I gotta get. It was so funny. I'm gonna talk about it later, but there's a show I've been watching, Tacoma FD, and I'm so bummed because I ran out of episodes. There's 4 seasons. It's on Netflix. Super funny show. Highly recommend checking it out. But there's a part where like it takes place in a fire department, and so they all it's all about the firefighters who work there, and most of it is between them going on calls, just like hanging out and stuff. And they decide to have like a mock trial. I guess they just do it for fun. They call it kangaroo court. And like, so like the chief is up there as the judge, and he's got the white wig, and he's got one of the guys up there as bailiff, and he's like cracking jokes with the bailiff, just like they do on those shows.
That's funny.
And it's like, oh, what do you think about that bailiff? And he's like, I don't know. And all that. Like, and then anytime someone says something shocking, everybody that's sat in like the background, they all go murmur, 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 murmur. It's so good. Like,
What show is this?
It's called Tacoma FD. It like most comedies, the first few episodes is a little slow, and then you get into it. It's made by the guys who made Super Troopers.
Okay. I've heard of it. I just can't remember where I've seen it and how long it's been since I've.
It's on Netflix at the moment is why I discovered it. But I'll talk about it again just a little bit. But yeah, just the court scene just it was so murmur, murmur, murmur. I just love that movie.
Sounds like the rabble, 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 rabble.
Anything like that cracks me up.
Right.
Ken Lung had no idea what Avatar: The Last Airbender was, and thought he had auditioned for the Avatar films. Says, I thought I was going to be blue.
Oh.
That's hilarious. He thought he was going to be an Avatar, but it turns out he was an Avatar.
Oh. Can you imagine that moment of realization? It's like, oh. Well.
Yeah, I've had moments like that before where like you agree to do something and then you get to it and you're like, this is what is going on here?
Right.
Like,
This is not that.
Anyway, so this is interesting. Naruto creator Masashi. I'm sorry, everybody. Masashi Kishimoto. I'm
Close
sure
enough.
I butchered that. I apologize.
Flawless.
Says he's convinced there's no other director better to make the live-action remake than Destin Daniel Cretton. Says, I found him to be open-minded director who was willing to embrace my input and felt strongly that we'd be able to cooperate together in the production process. So That sounds positive. I would watch the live action Naruto. I mean, especially since the creator of it is giving his praise.
Yeah, I mean, if they can give it the One Piece treatment, I'd watch it. Because Naruto does the same anime thing where it does the anime thing. I did enjoy
It's not as
Naruto.
bad as One Piece though.
Not
I
as
like.
bad.
I
Actually,
mean, and plus, you can look up you can go. There's guides for Naruto. I would
mm,
watch it because like I forget once you get to a certain part of the first Naruto season, stop watching. The rest is just garbage.
right.
And then you flip over to the Naruto Shippuden, the one where he's older,
Mm,
and it just picks up. It was just all bullshit filler for like an entire season,
mm.
and like so yeah, you kind of have to use those guides. I'd watched most of it. Excuse me. I watched most of
Favorite
it. I
Naruto
know
character? Go.
favorite. Oh, I guess Rock Lee.
Yeah, mine too. Ah, yeah.
Uh,
I know. I love Rock
my
Lee.
favorite moment though, by far, in that entire show
Was
was
when he
like
drops the rocks.
no. Later, when he's older, when he fights Pain,
Mm,
because basically, like Pain shows up and he destroys the entire village where they live in. Like it is rubble. Like all the ninjas are barely escaping. Main characters have died,
mm,
and what's her name, Sakura.
mm,
She's like people are dying around because she's like the healer, so she's trying to keep people healed, and she realizes like this isn't gonna work. Everybody's gonna die,
mm,
so she just screams out like Naruto, and then he just like pops in,
mm.
and then like he like goes and rescues someone real fast, and he's like, I don't sense Katashi. Where is he? And then she's like, she kind of looks sad, and he's like, oh okay. And so like he realizes he like lost him and stuff like that, and
Mm.
then like it's just so cool because it's like it's the moment in the show where he goes from being like here to like holy fuck, this is the only guy that can like save us all,
Mm.
and it was like the best fight ever, like,
Mm.
so good. He gets like the frog sage powers and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. I was digging it. It was awesome. But then, like, I don't know. I tried to watch more, but like, it was all about this war, and then like, he was hanging out with this octopus guy, and I was just like, eh, okay, I'm done with this show.
Fair enough.
But anyway, I would watch the live action though. Like, you said, I think, yeah, get the original, get the guy who made it, team him up with a good director, and yeah, it sounds like something I would watch. I mean, it sounds like you'd give it a shot.
So I'm glad that how to phrase this. So the One Piece live action was made by fans at the endorsement of the animators, right? And you know that they produced a solid product. Saw something similar years ago with the new Sonic game that came out. I think it was Sonic Generations, where it was just classic Sonic side scroller made by fans, endorsed by Sega, kind of thing. So I like that with anime. People have already done the homework for people like us, so we don't have to sit through 1,500 episodes, and they know, okay, guys, we need to. We keep telling people to watch One Piece, but they're not dedicated like us. What should we do? Well, we've seen everything, so we know where to chop and splice to make it all cohesive, so we can produce this object, so we can take these people and be see, it's good the whole time. We told you. See how good it is. Like,
no, I just think that
I like that.
No, I agree with you, but I just think it's just, sometimes you don't want to read the book and you just want to watch the movie instead.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what this is,
Right.
know. And it's like, and I'm sure the people that love the book, it's better, but you know what I mean. Like, I'm not gonna read that book.
Right.
This has got enough of that where I can enjoy it and then move on.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to more of One Piece, like when that next season of that.
Right. And it's cool that, particularly with anime, that we're getting that, where they're pretty
We
low.
had it for a while. It's just most of them suck.
Yeah, but
They're
they're
trying to do these live action ones, but like One Piece turned it around. There might be a couple others.
the live action Death Note wasn't that bad.
I didn't see it. I watched the show for a while, but it went on too long and I lost interest.
Yeah. See, what that kid should have done was he should have worked from the bottom up. He went from the top down, allowing that weird kid to figure out his location. See, had you started from the ground up, taking care of the little things in your way, it would have been drawn less suspicion as you ascend up and up and up and up and up. And then nobody would be able to extrapolate outwards
Yeah,
from
it
that.
was too much of like him and that other guy just staring at each other, trying to outthink each other.
Yeah.
But like, I just was like,
Yeah.
like I can
But
only watch a chess match for like so long before I lose interest.
but see, the live action stripped that out, so it wasn't bad.
I
I
still
enjoyed it.
want. I just don't want it to just go on endlessly. Like.
Right.
But I saw a thing where someone was saying, "Could Batman have solved it?" And like everyone was like, "Yeah, Batman probably."
Yeah.
But anyway,
He would have done it from the cave, and he probably would have done it without wearing pants, but always with the cowl on.
he just hangs out wearing the cowl.
Oh yeah, a cowl in his tighties. Yo, absolutely. You know, Batman fucking does that. That's just an empowerment thing. He needs it every once in a while. Good for him.
I like it when at the Super Cafe where he's hanging out with Superman and Superman's talking to Siri. And he's like, "I don't need that. I got Alfred." And he's like, "Alfred, blah 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 blah." And then Alfred, you can hear Alfred going like, "Siri."
Hey Siri. Oh, my Siri just went off. Shit. Sorry.
Okay.
Anyway.
The budget for Ridley Scott's Gladiator 2 reportedly has ballooned from 165 million to around 310 million. Wow, they're gonna really have to. That means they got to make 620 back just to like really cut.
They're going to have to. It needs to be $1 billion movie. It needs to be $1 billion movie in order for them to be able to point at it and be haha success.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, I mean, if they made 800, that would be a success.
Right, but I mean, it's Gladiator. 800 isn't good enough for Gladiator. It needs to be one of those $1 billion movies.
I watched Gladiator not that long ago,
Mm.
and it's still a good movie, but like the action scenes are very
Choppy.
Like choppy.
Mm.
Like they use a lot of jump cuts and like shaky cam and things like that. That like it kind of makes the action look more like, oh wow, than it really is.
Mm.
And but you know what I've noticed though is like I guess when I watch a lot of action stuff, I'm like I don't want speed ramping, I don't want jump cuts.
Mm.
Just give me a wide angle shot so I can see what's going on.
Right.
And ideally, just have the stuntmen do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like find a way to get the actors out of there.
Right.
That to me is the best way. But I've noticed that when they do that, people like don't like it, and I think it's because they're so used to like the bullshit, like speed ramping and all that kind of stuff that like they get upset if it doesn't have that, and it's like you don't understand. That's stuff that's covering up the stuff. Like you just want to see two athletes go at it. I mean, unless get me wrong, unless it's like an Avengers thing, we have like that's different, flying around punching each
Oh,
other.
of course.
But even then, I don't want jump cuts and stuff. I want to see the action,
Right. Or Zack Snyder, where you slow it down to really make sure you really see the action.
You know what I think was cool? I think I talked about it before, but the Eternals, the super speed scenes in that, I thought were really good.
Yeah.
Because everybody was doing the whole slow-mo thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they didn't, and what they did, like when she like knocks the guy in the mountain,
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's so cool. Like it feels.
It
like
felt like super speed.
Yeah.
Well, that's like in Man of Steel. We actually felt super speed from like Kryptonian. Like it felt like from here. Like
they were doing that thing, the faster than your eyes can see thing, though. Which is common. I mean, sometimes it looks cool. Like what was that movie, Underworld?
Mm-hmm.
When what's his name becomes the hybrid, and he fights like the boss vampire, and then all of a sudden he's like boom boom, and he's like right there and stuff like that, and you're like, holy shit, that guy's fast.
Right.
Like,
How many of those movies? Have there been like 5 of those movies at this point?
I think there's 4, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Anyways,
the first 3 which followed the main story, but then there was one which was like before, it was like a prequel. And then I don't know if they made any more after that. But yeah, it ends with her biting Corbin, who was the original Immortal,
Right.
and then her eyes turned blue. That was a good series. I thought. I didn't like the one that was the prequel, but I thought the first three films. I thought that first film was the best of the bunch, though,
Yeah.
because it was understated but still cool. I don't remember what was going on. Did you ever watch Octane Hunger Force?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one where like, they needed to shoot something, and Shake had been watching that movie, so like, yeah, go Shake, but instead of just shooting it normally, he had like a black leather suit on, and he did like a backflip, and he just like it was like bullets going everywhere because he'd seen that movie recently. Oh man,
I haven't seen the new season of that yet. I think it dropped on Paramount. Anyways, it's 11.
Elf came out on Paramount, and I was like, holy fuck, I gotta watch that when that comes out.
Nice.
But anyway, that's all I got. Are you excited? Not excited? What are your thoughts?
No, let's do it, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder what it's going to be about that because he died at the end of that. So is this like a different story? Like,
I don't know. It's 11:30. I want to break it up with some Battle Nerds.
yep. So go ahead and explain the game.
Yeah, so Battle Nerds, this would be our weekly segment where we random roll from a list of 100 pre-selected heroes, villains from across the nerdy multiverse to pit against each other in Mortal Kombat. My goodness gracious, we've whittled down the combatants down to just a hair over 20 at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
23, including the ones fighting today.
So last week was Bender Bending Rodriguez versus Pikachu. My goodness, suspense is
Specifically, Ash's Pikachu.
Ash's Pikachu. Suspense is tingling.
Not a lot of you guys voted on this one, so I mean, like, but Pikachu takes it by a hair. So,
Oh shit! Okay.
So I thought Bender would take it. But yeah, so Pikachu goes on. Bender is taken out. Actually, I haven't done that yet, so I'm going to do that real fast. Do you want to introduce today's fighters?
Yes. So we rolled last week, and Mr. Frosty rolled for Han Solo. I rolled for Zorro. My goodness gracious, my precious Han Solo. As per rules, we get to choose a version of the character to be our herald. I'm actually going with the Anthony Hopkins Zorro from the 90s movie, which would probably make another good Behold Nerds at some point, because I haven't watched that movie in probably 30 years.
Anthony Hopkins over Antonio Banderas, so the original.
Yeah, I'm going OG Zorro. Okay. The Mexican Batman. My goodness gracious. I don't know. I feel like Anthony Hopkins needs some love. I feel like Antonio Banderas, he's cool and all.
I know, but like, we didn't get to see much of Anthony Hopkins Zorro in it because he was like already old by the time the movie.
Yeah, but presumably whatever.
Right, I'll give it to you. Everything.
Yeah, just classic Zorro.
That fight scene is like one of the more studied fight scenes. The one with him and what's her name, where they like he cuts their clothes off and stuff like that.
Really?
Like, yeah, because the way like it's just like I've seen fight like choreographers break it down and discuss it, like you know. Like, oh, and then they go in and then they go back and forth in the conversation that's happening, and then like, oh, but there's like they're kind of flirting now, and then like, oh, they've forgotten, and then it's just like who's going to win, and you know, it's an interesting, it's an interesting thing. I think what's her name, Jill something or other, she talks about it, and it's pretty cool. I'll see if I can find the video and post it on Twitter for if people are interested. But yeah, anyway, go ahead. So yeah, I got Han Solo. So I'm just gonna go
my homie.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Han Solo from the Star Wars films, the original 3.
Yeah.
You know, no point in really going anywhere else with it. I mean, I guess he was in the newer one, but like,
yeah, he doesn't count. That's ham salad. Anyway.
I mean, yeah. So anyway,
So. Anyways, we plot these two combatants into Mortal Kombat. How do you think? Why do you think Han Solo can take on the legendary swordsman himself, Zorro?
Yeah, Yeah. Let's go, Chewie.
Dun, 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 dun. Written and directed by Ryan Johnson. A Kathleen Kennedy film.
It wasn't a very exciting time for Han Solo. Yeah, he does like with the crawl. Star Wars, the Zorro battle. It was a boring day for Han Solo. Someone dared him to go shoot Anthony Hopkins in the face with his spaceship. So he did. The end.
Dun, 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 dun.
Anyway, go ahead. So what is Zorro?
It is on tornado. Oh my goodness. Well, no, he doesn't have a spaceship. But anyway, so if you were to remove Han Solo of the spaceship and just bring them down onto the surface level.
Oh, okay, I got this one too.
Pew! Right. Now, see, here's the thing. Zorro is essentially Mexican Batman. And what is Batman and Zorro? What do they have in common? They're both good at really, really, really dodging bullets. Now, hear me out. It has been scientifically proven by internet math that the bolts in Star Wars don't actually travel at the speed of light, nor at the...
No, they're slow.
They're slow as fuck. So, okay, Han Solo does this. Okay, freaking guy who dodges fucking faster and smaller things on the regular will easily be able to dodge the world's fastest shot with his clunky. But then, hold on, and then he, with his freaking whip, he freaking whips Han Solo. He disarms Han Solo. Now, Han Solo has...
Wait, I got to point to your slower bullets thing.
Okay.
Those are muskets, though, that he's dodging, which are incredibly shitty guns. I mean, half the time, it's probably nowhere near it.
Well, if you watch the movies, they're usually at his heels and things exploding near him, so...
Anyway. I reckon he's just jumping near it.
Just so...
but I will agree with you that they're slow, but I just want to point out at least they're accurate, whereas Zorro's dealing with muskets, which are infamously... I mean, half the time, they don't even bother fighting them, and they just pull out swords,
Right.
Like, that's their go-to weapon. And that makes sense, because at the time... See, I don't want to get too political, but what people don't realize about the whole, Second Amendment... I know. I went there. But is, at the time... It would have been insane to walk around with a loaded gun. If you did, people would be like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! What are you doing, man?"
Right.
Because they would go off just because you had them with you.
Remember that scene in Back to the Future 3 when everybody's having a party and Biff Tannen shows up and the sheriff is like, "Hey, check your weapons. Everybody checks your fucking weapons." Everybody checked their weapons. That was a regular thing. But anyways, back to the fucking battle. So I say...
I know. I've been pointing out. So... That was a time of shitty guns where most people didn't even bother to carry guns. That was the point of what I was making.
Okay, but nevertheless, I believe that when plopped down, now Han Solo, he's crafty. He's a talker. I don't think Zorro would care about Han Solo's charisma. I think his Spanish debonair would
equally charismatic.
Right, but I give the charisma needle slightly leaning to... I think Zorro would be able to see through Han Solo's bullshit and be able to take him out just more strategically, a lot more coordinated. Han Solo's kind of haphazard with his tactic. He kind of has dumb luck with it in a lot of ways. He doesn't really come up with strategies with things. He just sort of does. And I think Zorro would be able to outthink Han Solo on the ground. Plus, he just disarm him. Once he's disarmed, then what? Then he's just a dude. He doesn't carry any other sidearms on him. He doesn't do that. He's got his one piece. You disarm him, you get the whip, and then, boom, you bring it in close, and then it becomes a shoving match. And I definitely give, fisticuffs.
Okay. If he can somehow bypass a blaster... and even more so a spaceship, But then sure, like yeah, I agree. In a fist fight versus a sword and a whip, yeah, he's gonna lose.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, my opinion is like Zoro would be like, oh, like ole, amigo, and all that, and like, and he'd be like, like, and here's, pew, and then all of a sudden, those are my arguments. He wins by either flying over and shooting him, or he just.
Shit. Now, to be fair, Chewie would have to man the guns because that's how the Falcon works.
Okay, well,
He can drop one of the forward torpedoes because Falcon's got that. There. Yeah. All right.
I mean, can't they like also just like hover and stuff? Like, because I imagine if a ship just stopped and hovered,
Yeah.
like, and then like Zora, holy shit, like what is that, amigo? And then he'd roll up, and then Solo would just like, dude, yeah, okay, just gonna line this up. Know what's going on?
It is not up to us. This is a fun one. It is not up to us. It is up to y'all. So let us know through all the various means who you think came out on top. What do we need to roll for? What are we rolling?
22 or under, and you can't roll 11 because that's Pikachu. Oh wait, no, Pikachu's fine. Who's in it today? Whatever.
I rolled an 11. Need to re-roll.
No. Pikachu's fine because he's done. He won.
Yeah, no, but I
wanted to do a different one anyway because we just had Pikachu.
Yeah, because I just rolled 11 twice, so no Pikachu. 14.
All right. First time fighter, Arya Stark.
Ooh. Hell yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got one. Versus returning second place champion Bach.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Ooh.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Fly the Enterprise. Photon torpedo. Pew.
Pew.
Anyway, tune in next week for Arya Stark versus Spock. Actually, I'm thinking more like it's like a gladiator. Tune in next week for that. We'll put up a poll on Twitter for so you guys can vote, and Facebook so you guys can vote as to who you thought won today. Whether it was Zora or Han Solo.
This is a fun fight.
Yeah, so let's jump into Behold Nerds.
Behold Nerds. Yeah, so this is our weekly book club. We pick a thing for us all to absorb, and then we talk about it in the following week. By
the way, so Gus, we had a Real Super Killers, also known as Gus. Check out his comic. He picked Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is now free on Peacock, I think. So we could watch it on that. I think if you don't have Peacock, you could just pick up a free thing for a day or whatever.
Okay.
So yeah, we could get that for free.
Okay. We'll talk Oppenheimer next week.
So we'll do that for next week because we let him pick.
Mm-hmm.
We're just waiting for it to come out on streaming. It might also be on Amazon too. It might be. I would check there too. But anyway, Everywhere All at Once is now on Netflix and Amazon.
I finally saw it.
I wanted to watch a long time ago. I wanted to check out a long time ago, but it was like nowhere to watch,
Right.
And yeah, and then I saw it was out on streaming, so I was like, "Ooh, we gotta watch this." So this is my second viewing. This is your first viewing.
Mm-hmm.
So as it's your first time checking out the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once, what did you think?
This is a weird movie, but I loved it. No, I'm going to say something very controversial.
That's fine.
I don't see how Jamie Lee Curtis should have won Best Supporting Actress. I don't think she really did anything that was just worthy.
Not really.
And
I love your character.
but however, I completely forgot I'm watching this. That's Short Round. Oh my god, I forgot Short Round won Best Supporting Actor for this. Okay. Short Round was great in this.
And it was also what's his name from the Goonies?
Yeah, Short Round. Yeah,
And then he was. I mean, what's his name?
Data.
From Indiana.
Yeah, Short Round and Data.
Yeah.
But no, because I completely forgotten that he was in this movie until I heard the voice and I saw him. It's like that's Data, that's Short Round. So it was weird, like the hot dog fingers. Like it's meant to be weird because I thought the premise was interesting. So I'm fresh off of it. So my brain is still trying to process the hot dog fingers and just the mustard in their mouth. And this weirdly choreographed fight with a dog. And so, okay, so it did.
I forgot about the dog.
So here's the thing. My experience with these movies is very limited. So these kung fu movies do this thing where it's one of the reasons why originally I didn't like Kill Bill, because it just felt like it was mocking this thing. But that's sort of the whole point of the movie, is to be a tribute to this thing. So it's just, there's this lady swinging around a dog. And it's like, why is this happening? Like, why the dog? Why? It's so weird. Why is...
Because it was like you throw it and the dog would be like, rah, rah, rah.
Right. It felt almost like my goodness, like a Sam Raimi thing at one point, where you see like the paws. It was almost like that classic Sam Raimi like point of view from was it Evil Dead, or is that fast moving camp? So it was. So here's the thing, because I love this movie. I really, really, really do like this movie. I love this movie. It's just it's so weird, but like, I'm still trying to like piece it all together. Like there's a point where they're like, one of the best scenes in the movie is when they're just two rocks. Like. Plus.
Like a little kid screaming like right outside the window.
Plus, this movie gave us fanny pack cam, where Short Round becomes, oh, come with me if you want to live. Essentially, this movie's Terminator. He's swinging around his fanny pack, and as he's swinging around, like it cuts to like a floor level of the fanny pack, and it's moving as it takes down a guy. It's like. I think you've unlocked the part of my brain that can see that for the fun that it is, because it's absurd. It's meant to be absurd. Like I see it now. It's cool, but it's absurd.
Yeah, I mean the kung fu is fun,
right?
Yeah, I mean they have fun with it, and I mean, but like, and look, to me this movie's like a masterpiece. Anytime a movie is that much smarter than me. And like I'm like, I could never do that in a million years. I'm just blown away by. And this is a movie that is that movie.
However, I'm going to say this movie gave me one of the worst scenes of any movie I've ever seen in my life, and I hate you forever and ever and ever for it. I don't even want to repeat it. I'm not even going to speak it into existence, but I hate you for it. And
I need to know what it is.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay, so the whole premise is, it's an interesting premise. So you have the ability to lock into the minds of your multiversal selves, but in order to get there, you need to form like a neural highway to unlock these things, and that's an interesting thing. In order to achieve that highway, you have to do something beyond the realm of probability. Let's hump a lamp. Let's lick a wall.
There's two guys that have these like awards. You see them in the beginning of the film. You're like, those are butt plugs,
right? Yeah.
And then immediately they like try to shove them.
The perfect Chekhov's gun, by the way. And this guy just running with his pants down, and he just in slow mo.
Like,
best use of slow mo in the entire movie. But anyways, now I can't unthink of it. Ah, God,
You can't
why?
say something like
Why?
that.
I'm not going to tell you because you're mean.
No, you can't. You have to say what it is, though. I mean,
No,
come
I
on.
don't. No, I
Yes,
don't.
you do.
I'm
Well,
going to
then
keep
don't
it with
say
me. I'm going to
something like that.
squish it out of existence. That's what you're going to do. Inside, there's a
I'm
compressor.
assuming it's something they did to change their thing.
So, anyways, we follow the character who's married to Short Round, and you see the whole time he's trying to serve her divorce papers, and I sorry, my dog. Anyways, something other than that scene. Ooh, God, it just makes me so
I know what
uncomfortable.
you're talking about. There's nothing in this movie that bothered me.
Oh God, Luna, you sense my peril. You sense my distress. My dog came running right up to me. Hey, dog. Anyways,
No. So like, okay. So to me, like this movie just I mean, I'll talk about the story in a minute, but the story, the use of symbols and stuff like that, like there's the circles everywhere.
yep.
With the circles within them and stuff like that. The use of I mean sound, choreography, acting, like this movie just everything knocks it out of the park. I think this is easily one of the best movies I've seen. I don't know, in like a decade. I mean, it's phenomenal.
One of my favorite
mean-
scenes is seriously when they're just rocks. It's
Yeah,
like, yo,
no,
just shut up. Just be a rock. Just enjoy being a rock.
Well, so yeah, so I mean, the story is basically basically main character
Overbearing
She,
Chinese mother
yeah,
owns
so
a.
she has all these like things that she tries to do, but she never kind of fulfills her dreams. And she's busy just trying to do all this stuff, like take care of. She's got the taxes that she's trying to deal with. It's funny that most of this movie takes place in an IRS.
Yeah, you know what? I noticed that about 2/3 of the way through the movie. It's like we haven't left the building yet. Like we're still
so
in the IRS.
They're trying to deal with the taxes. They're failing laundromat. You know, her husband, like you mentioned, is like considering serving her divorce papers. There's and so then like it becomes about in like okay, so there's this nothingness, and it's represented by this bagel with everything.
The everything bagel.
Yeah, like it was, you know, and like it's happened to her daughter. Her daughter, like she did it to her daughter. You know, like she couldn't accept her daughter's sexuality. You know, like was giving her a hard time about this, and this, and so her daughter had that same kind of emptiness and stuff like that. And then, but as they go through the film, like her fighting style changes to where she's like bringing joy. I love the raccoon.
Oh my God, Raccoonatooey.
Yeah, Raccoon Tui. And like she's describing it, and they're like, "You mean Ratatouille, right?" She's like, "No,
No.
And then like, yeah, there's a
It's a fucking raccoon.
under the guy's chef's hat.
The hot dog fingers I can't get past. That was so fucking disgusting. And then with her and Jamie Lee Curtis just being seductively hot dog fingery, it was just so unsettling.
Yeah, but like as she points out, she's like, even in the stupid hot dimension where you have hot dogs for fingers, we've become really good at using our feet.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, so it's weird how everything kind of
well, that's what that
checks
was
everything
also-
all up. Yeah.
She kind of realized that yeah, there's all of that like nothingness and sorrow, but like they can find the joy of just it being together because it's better than, and like we kind of you see all those things that she could have been, like you know she could have been this famous actress and everything like that, and you see what he could have been. He could have been this like wealthy businessman, and because in the beginning she says like, oh, I bet he wouldn't have, you know, if I didn't stay with him, he wouldn't make it because she takes care of him. And so, but none of those things do they really want to be. They can be anything they want. They can do whatever they want. But what they want to do is they want to be together. So the flip side of the film is they ends with like beginning she's doing the taxes by herself, ends with them all in the same room together.
Right.
Doesn't mean there's a lot of stuff like that in this film and the metaphors of the film, and then you get the action, and it was just it's honestly as close to a 10 out of 10 movie as I can think of. I mean, I don't know if there's truly such a 10 out of 10, but this is, I mean, it's a hair away.
Mm.
It's damn near perfect. I can't see a fault in the movie. Like, I love it. It goes down, and like you said, it's got kung fu in it, so what's not to love?
Mm.
And I mean, and I love that the fighting style changes from like her like beating the shit out of everybody to like realizing, cause she first thinks her husband is this kind of weak person, but then she realizes his worth and that he makes everybody happy around him.
Mm.
And so like she takes on that fighting style.
Mm.
So like you know, she like ducks under people and then she brings them together and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, they're in love now.
Yeah.
You know?
it was. It was cool. It was
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
It was
I
just a
love that
weird movie.
the first fighting style was like her beating the shit out of people, but using all like her abilities, like the
Like
hot
her
dog. And then she was
fucking
like, oh,
Benihana's.
she realized, oh, I can use my feet now, and that really. So
Mm.
she gained the ability to use her feet really good,
Mm.
and like she like stopped the thing with her foot. Like, it's really. I liked it when it also wore off briefly, and they were like,
Yeah. It's a good fit.
It's like this awesome kung fu fight that everyone's just like their jaws on the ground, and then it stops and they just start smacking each other. It was really good. It's such a good movie, and like I don't know, my favorite fight scene by far was the butt plug fight scene.
Oh, yeah.
Like they look all like fucking serious, and then you like look. At
You see it dangling at him.
It's so funny. And like her daughter, I thought made a pretty good villain at like parts in the movie, and then
Yeah.
like you see her dad die and stuff, but then it turns out her daughter like really was just looking for the version of her mom that would like join her in the nothingness that is the everything bagel.
Mm-hmm.
It's super weird.
It's weird, but I love it. You know what? This movie gives me hope because there's a lot of weird little elements in this and that I have in Quantum. So I love that. That makes me happy. It's
a good question because they came out at the same time, and Jamie Lee Curtis is bragging, saying like, "Ha ha 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 ha! We made the better movie." So, what do you think? This or Multiverse of Madness?
So, as much as I love Sam Raimi, without question, everything everywhere all at once, without hesitation, they're just, you can't compare one.
Did a better version of like other, because we only had that one scene in that Multiverse of Madness,
Right.
where they're, like going through the different universes.
Right.
Other than that, it was mostly just like what, the 2 or 3 of them.
Yeah.
And like in this, like we got to see like all sorts of crazy realities, like based on tiny little things that compounded.
So you know what this felt like? This felt like it achieved what Multiverse of Madness wanted to do with about 1/5 of the budget. Like,
I mean, like you said, there's a universe where like the things that needed life to create didn't happen on Earth.
so
And like her daughter points out, like
this is
that's
most of
actually
you. Yeah, there's most of them.
and like but yeah, they're just discussing this as rocks.
Right, and you're just reading scroll.
Yeah.
Just, like, and there's a moment where just the camera hangs there, and it's just silent and it's peaceful because you have all this chaos and everything, and then all of a sudden, it's still. And then it holds there for a second. It's like, what's up? It's like, oh, you're a rock. Just enjoy being a rock. Just come on, like, away from this. Right, like there's this epic battle where they're trying to fight each other, and then all of a sudden it's still. You know what? Let's just stop for a second. Just enjoy being a rock. just stop. I need to watch this movie again, but I think I need time to simmer on it a little bit.
I enjoyed it more, I think, on second watch. To be honest, I had a good time. I watched it last night. There was stuff I didn't notice like the first time through, and like, so yeah, and like I think I got the film better on second viewing. But yeah, it's a great film. This is definitely in my like list of tip top films.
Right.
It's a blast. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. It's on Netflix.
Shut up and take my money. 8 million bajillion %.
All right. So, like you said, at Real Super Killers, he chose Oppenheimer, so we'll give that one a watch this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And then it'll be Cap's pick after that.
Yes. I have a good one.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm looking forward to watching Oppenheimer.
Nope. Make a noise. You there?
That was my
No.
alarm that tells me I need to take pills, but it's okay. I can wait 30 minutes.
Are you sure? Are they essential
yeah.
pills?
I mean, they are, but they can wait 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've got.
But anyway, so yeah, so we'll be checking out Oppenheimer. If you tune into the discussion, join us next week. And if you haven't seen it yet, we encourage you to see it, and then you guys can join the discussion as well. Tell us what you thought. Also,
Right.
let us know what you thought of Everything Everywhere All at Once. If you haven't seen it, check it out.
Yep.
So what else we got going on?
My goodness, we got 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I was going to mention. So Netflix, a couple of things. Warrior's still doing well, yay. So show, I guess it's been on True TV for a while. It's got 4 seasons. I was talking about it before. Homa FD, a really funny show. It's made by the guys that did Super Troopers. Sadly, there is only 4 seasons, and there isn't going to be a 5th. The creators actually came out and said, yeah, there's not going to be a 5th. I can actually appreciate that, like that they actually said that, but apparently True TV no longer does scripted stuff, and even though Netflix is like allowing them to get like more viewers and stuff like that because it's doing well on Netflix, they're already working on other projects like Super Troopers 3. So, but this show is great. Even though there's only 4 seasons, highly recommend checking it out.
Okay.
Really funny. The first couple episodes, it's about a fire department. You're kind of like, yeah, whatever. But like my favorite character.
I remember it. I just can't remember where I've seen it.
Yeah, no, it's funny though. My favorite character is Lucy. She's like the female firefighter, and she's like the new like rookie and everything like that. So like her dad is the fire chief, and so he's like, yeah, no hazing and stuff like that. But she actually is like one of the guys. She grew up in the fire station, so she's totally down, and she like anytime they try and haze her, she like out hazes them. But she's also like one of the dudes like they're all excited to do this week's beefcake or this year's beefcake charity calendar, where they like take pictures with their junk out, but they like cover it behind stuff, And she's right along with them. She's like, yeah, she's got like this big banana. She's like, I'm gonna like put a big peel over my melons and stuff like that, and like it's really funny. Like or there's a part where like they're like all they're all like working out to get in shape for the calendar. And like one of them walks and he's like, it stinks in here, and they're all talking about how they're ripping farts because of their protein diets, and she's like, yeah, my diet is this, and like she's like farting along with all of them. I love her character.
That's funny.
There's some really funny stuff in this.
Show that Mrs. Cap and I watched. If you haven't seen it, there's been other seasons that have come out, but we just watched a recent one with Jodie Foster, True Detective.
I haven't seen it.
It was good. Jodie Foster, she plays like a grizzled Alaska sheriff. It's Jodie Foster just as a grizzled Alaskan sheriff. Kind of follows like a Native American tribe trying to go after like this mining corporation. There's mysterious death. It's a weird show. There's things get paid off, but there's a undertone of like a supernatural aspect that's hinted at but never really explained, which is interesting. Like they solve it on like the surface level, like court style. Oh, Your Honor, they did this, and this, blah. But there's like this layer of supernaturalness to it that just goes untouched. But it's interesting. It's a shut up and take my money if you want to watch it. It makes me feel cold watching it because it takes place during the 14 days of night.
Okay.
So, God, that's weird living in a place of the world that's like that, where there's just no sun for that long.
I would be.
I know you would be at home. Like, you'd be fine. I would not survive there.
FD is very different. It's totally a comedy. It's silly. It's just a good time. Like, I highly recommend it if you've seen Super Troopers and you like that style of comedy. Two of the people in it are from Super Troopers. Like, it's very seriously though. This one guy's
Mrs.
like,
Cap would like it.
he's all like cocky and stuff, and anytime he like something happens, he's like, "Cause I'm Eddie Panisi," and then like the music's like Eddie, and like walks out of the room. And
Eddie Panisi.
like, yeah, it's so weird. It's like one of the characters he's like he's like they're like, oh, like how come all your money's in singles? And it's because you go to a strip club a lot. And you find out, yeah, that's true, but he's the stripper. And then Lucy, she's like slapping him on the ass and putting money in his G-string, and he's like, oh, hey guys, you never come to my work before. And he's like doing the dance and stuff, and then she slaps him on the ass, and he kind of like nods, and then a bouncer like grabs her and like takes her outside. And stuff. It's just such a fun show, like highly like yeah, it's. I can't, like, one of my favorite parts is the one character, like he's the new rookie, and mom is there, and then like and then he's like, oh, my mom left because I didn't get to spend any time with her, and she doesn't know anybody at this party. And then you see her and Eddie Panisi going up to her room, and then like later he's like, did Captain bang my mom? It's so funny.
That's funny.
And she comes out and her hair's like a mess, and he's like, oh, Mom, you had a good time? She's like, I had a great
That's funny.
Anyway, and then the other thing I saw was the new Teenage Mutant Ninja
Oh,
Turtles.
yeah. So, fellow nerd Adrian and I saw this in theaters when it came out. Sounds like you and I agree on a thing. Let's hear your...
Well, the thing that I was like, wait a second, is like Splinter's like played by Jackie Chan. He's like, I had to teach him the art of how to unlock the art of ninjutsu. So, we watched tapes on wushu kung fu, and I'm like,
wait a minute,
that's not right. That's like saying I need to learn the art of making Mexican food, so I went to Italy.
Right.
Like different countries, like
right. That's like with the Karate Kid movie that came out with Will Smith's kid that was set in China and with Jackie Chan, and none of it had anything to do with karate. It was kung fu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that, but I mean, look, that aside, yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I love this movie.
It was one of my more favorite Ninja Turtles movies. It had the right amount of silliness without being too silly. I mean, the right amount of action. And I like the fact that they were still, like, concerned, like, she's like, oh, like, April's like, okay, beat him up. And then she's like, learn these guys as a rhinoceros man. And, like, it was funny, too, seeing, like, Bebop and Rocksteady as, like, not bad guys,
Yeah, so it threw me off, but I love the character designs. Like, I love the color. I like the movie was gorgeous to look at. I like that they actually felt like teenagers. Apparently they allowed some room for improv in the voice booth when all of them were together. I like that they just got a bunch of no-name kids to voice the Turtles. I think it's perfect. I think the voice cast was perfect. I'm not a fan of Splinter. He's the one part I didn't like about the movie was Splinter.
I didn't have a problem with Jackie Chan.
I mean, it's Jackie Chan. It's just I liked that they were trying to go a different route with exploring the relationship between Splinter and the Turtles, where he's more of the fatherly figure and less a sensei. Like, I thought it was interesting. He felt more of like an inner city New Yorker dad, like that, and that's what they were trying to go for. It just felt off. But that aside, love the character design. Love the movie. It was nice. I loved the at the end where it was up to everybody in the city to help take out the thing. That's a very New York. It felt like a New York thing, where everybody gets to be the hero to tackle this thing, and everybody comes together. I like that. It's cheesy, but I liked it. It was weird seeing them going to school at the end, and
with her masks off.
Yeah, like it was weird. Frog people in New York, but you know what? Whatever. The undertone message of the movie was, you know what, in New York we accept everybody. Everybody is welcome, just regardless if you're a rat monster or a mutant turtle. Like,
You have to be a hero to become welcome, though. I
right.
mean,
But I mean, yeah, okay, yeah. But without that, then we wouldn't have. All right, fine. But anyways, I loved. I think the thing I loved most about this movie is that it didn't give us a shredder. But with that said, now we don't have that backstory between Splinter and Shredder, so I don't. That kind of sucks. But you know,
Superfly was a fun villain.
Superfly was cool. I thought Superfly was great. I hope we get to see more Baxter Stockman. I'm sure we will, because what's his name? Giancarlo Esposito. Perfect Baxter Stockman. Perfect Baxter Stockman. I hope we see more. I can't wait to see more of this movie.
Are they planning to make another?
I hope so. I mean, you can't leave it with the Shredder and not give us a Shredder. Come on, just give us a second one.
I mean, we've seen Shredder in every movie. I was fine with it not being Shredder for a change.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's always Shredder.
It's always Shredder. But you know what? This seems like the type of movie where you can bring in Krang and then bring in the Neutrinos and bring in, like, the Rock people. It just... Because this was, I think Seth Rogen made this movie. It felt like, here, let's dump out all the toys. Here, let's smash our toys together. Let's have fun. It felt like that. But, you know, at some point, yes, you do need to bring in Shredder.
Yeah,
and they alluded to Shredder.
And then John Cena played...
Perfect. It's perfect. I'll never be able to... I can't unhear their voices in Bebop and Rocksteady moving forward. Like, it's just perfect. But anyways, I'm glad you liked it. Shut up and take my money. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great. I had a great time. Was not at all bored. But yeah. Let's see what else.
Oh, more early reviews for Dune Part 2 are coming out. People are saying it is absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait. We're gonna see it on IMAX. If you remember, fellow nerd. Former coworker Mike, you remember him?
Yeah.
Yes. He messaged me the other day asking, "What are your plans for Dune?" I said, "Seeing it with you." Apparently, the popcorn buckets are a rave. If you haven't seen it, Google it.
I've seen them. Yeah. It looks like they would hurt your hands, but I'm guessing those are soft.
I'm gonna make it my secret girlfriend.
Doesn't it look like I don't know, when I was looking at it, it looked like plastic things. I'd imagine putting your hand in there and be like, ow! Pull it out, it's like scratching your arm.
Right.
Not enough to like do any damage,
but enough to make you not want to do it.
And then your hand starts getting sorer and sorer as you go on.
And enough to make you regret your purchase by the end of the movie.
These are a brilliant idea. Like, you know. I don't like it. It makes me bleed.
Anyways, so a little odd bit of friend trivia. Did you know that this particular flavor of Mike is a big Transformers fan?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he will occasionally message me photos of his little ever-growing Transformer collection. Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Did you ever see Ninja Scroll?
The anime, right?
Yeah.
No.
Oh. Okay.
I know of it. I just haven't seen it. Or if I've seen it, I've seen.
Fine. If we can find it as on something, that's a really good one. But I was just interested to know. It doesn't. Super Killers was talking about how it's an underrated movie.
Mm.
But the thing is, everyone I know that's seen it is like, that movie's awesome. I had like no idea it was underrated. I said, who's saying it's underrated? And he said, anyone born past 1993, pretty much.
Right, but they all suck anyways.
He said it's his second favorite anime movie after the Street Fighter movie. Did you see that one?
Oh God. Wait, the
90s.
The 90s one, right? With Raul Julia as M. Bison?
No, the anime.
Oh, the anime. Oh, no. So again, I'm familiar with it. I've seen portions of it, but I've never seen the totality of it.
Yeah, I like those '90s animes because like there's not a lot of standing around. It's just people beating the shit out of each other for like,
Yeah.
like, it's badass. Like Ninja Scroll is so violent and cool. Like,
Mm.
yeah, like I remember watching it at work, same place with our
Mm.
friend Jeff, and like he was like seeing scenes from it. He was like, oh my god, like like there's one part where this like rock monster like throws his blade and it like spins around,
Mm.
but then he like cuts off the guy's fingers, and then the blade comes back and hits him in the head,
Oh shit.
and then like blood spurts out, and then he like dies, and he leans forward, making it like cut even more into his brains.
Wow.
It's a violent ass film. Like people get their arms ripped off and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's see what else is going on. I should talk about it.
What do you got?
Rogue: The American Dream. Apparently, the creator, Dave, he has a couple of copies left. So I would support him if you can. I'm sure there'll be more copies on the way.
Mm.
It looks kind of like an old school heavy metal comic. I think I showed you some of the pictures where it's like the girl with the guns and everything like that.
Badass.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'll post that in the chat, but definitely support him if you can. Here is his Twitter handle.
So, any fun conversations going on in the Twitterverse?
No, I was just looking through to see if there was anything. I've been pretty busy with well, not so much busy, but I've been
Healing. You're
watching
healing.
TV and playing video games a lot.
You're healing.
Yes, that kind of busy. But yeah, oh man, Baldur's Gate is so good. I'm telling you, dude, you should play that game. It's like my favorite RPG.
Really?
Yeah, it's just that good. Like, that actually was an interesting discussion. People were saying, this one person was like, "Can you ever, now that you play Baldur's Gate 3, can a DM ever match this quality?"
Mm.
And I'm like, in some ways, no. But that's just because of the dynamic of playing with other people. It's like, people like you get those players, they don't pay attention to anything until it's their turn, and then they do their thing, and then they stop. The game might as well stop existing at that point.
Right.
And they have no idea what's going on in terms of the story.
Mm.
And they're just there to and then there's people that pay attention to the story, and then there's all these different kinds of players. But so yeah, it's much easier to engage with Baldur's Gate, but the thing is, there's always going to be the limitations of a computer.
Mm-hmm.
That you have true choice in actual D&D, or you should anyway with it.
Right.
It sucks sometimes as the DM because you're like, go this way. I've created all this fun content for you, and they're
Like, no.
I'm going this way instead.
Yeah.
Or they just think of something like where you're like, I can bypass that entirely, and you're like, damn it.
Right.
Like,
I spent hours and hours. I think I found it the other day when I was going through some of my old scribbles. This elaborate mine for you guys. It was like a mind maze, and y'all figured it out in a night. And like, my God, was it that easy? Like, and it just took one character to just blindly go, I'm going to go this way. And I'm like, fuck. Like, really?
well, also, sometimes players have abilities and stuff that
Yeah.
you didn't think about.
Yeah.
And they come out with. The thing is, I always think you have two options as a DM. You can either shut it down, and I think that's the wrong decision, or you could just roll with the punches, and I think that's the right decision. It's just, it can be hard to do. The best thing to do is if you create those kind of scenarios, just back pocket it for right now. Change a few things later and just be like, look, it's this thing that I just, I'm gonna insert here now.
Right.
Like like whatever. You're like if you find out your players are looking for a staff of the Magi, then just be like, oh, you know what? There's a rumor.
There's a rumor. Right.
Yeah,
It's
I
over
think we're
there.
gonna midget down there, I reckon.
Mm.
And like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The story I'm doing right now, Spelljammers,
Mm.
which is kind of D&D in space.
Nice.
They have ships that can go into space, and then it's like the spellcaster sits in a helm.
Mm.
That's called the Spelljammer helm.
Mm.
And like, I have a hard time though, because like my players are like, well, we'll catch up to them or something. I'm like, no, you're flying millions of miles per hour.
Right.
Like, the ship is very, very fast.
Mm.
Like, and stuff like that. Like, because basically the way it works is it's our solar system essentially.
Mm.
It just kind of works a little bit different. Like, when you go up into space,
Mm.
the ship takes a bubble of atmosphere with it.
Okay.
And then even if you were to jump off the ship, you would have like a little bubble of it with you.
Interesting.
But then, like, eventually you would suffocate though,
Right.
because you would just run out of air. So like the ship they have has a tree on it,
Mm.
so it's a tree ant actually, and like so that can regulate the air and stuff.
Mm.
And yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, it's kind of very Buck Rogers.
Okay.
The story is like there's this space elf civilization, and they put a bunch of spores on Earth, and they're on Toril, and they're sprouting into giant tendrils that are going to take over everything.
Mm.
So you escape, and then you've got a plan to like try and take down this Arsis empire and save Toril. It's pretty cool.
Neat.
But yeah, like, I'm like trying to be like, so, because we stopped playing while I was in the hospital, and I'm like, okay, well, we're playing again, and everyone's like, wasn't our ship like dead in the water, and we were trying to lasso space whales? I was like, that was forever ago, you idiots. Like, like, you're so far past that.
That's funny.
And they're like, I'm like, have you ran into the pirate yet? And they're like, what pirate? I'm like, god damn it.
Spoilers.
I went into like, no, it's not spoilers. They just have no idea like where they were at. I'm gonna have to like write up like a synopsis of what's happened. So,
Oh, all right. I mean, that's fair.
I know. There's so much like, just follow it. Just follow it. I mean, I'm reading it,
Mm.
but like, I don't know.
So
You know what I really want to play is I bought this game, Betrayal at House on Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about this game?
Mm-mm.
It's a super fun game. I played a couple of rounds, but the problem is the people I live with, like, one of them doesn't understand the rules. So anytime they get a card, they go, "I don't get it," and they hand it to the other person to like decipher.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like kind of like D&D. So it's supposed to be like you're playing a haunted house kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 50 different scenarios that can happen. It's really cool. It's like, and the map gets built as you play and stuff.
Nice.
And then basically you start, and then you walk around the house. You discover rooms. Each time you go in a room, something happens. Eventually you collect more and more omens. Once you've got 5 omens, well, once you roll a 5 and you roll it based on how many omens there are, the haunt happens. And then you look up a book, and usually one person's the traitor, and so they have to go to a different room and like figure out what they do, and the other people, and then it's cool. So like, it's like playing a haunted mansion kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, so the other person I play with, I'm like reading this, I'm like, you pick up the axe and it glows, and I'm doing all this theatrics, and they read it like, so I'm playing with these two people, and it's just like, come on, really?
Get into it a little bit.
Yeah.
I was watching an interesting thing, one of those Metal Ball Studio things that were comparing the different ships and whatnot. So of the sci-fi ships, and any of them you can think of, which ones do you think top 3 are the fastest of all the sci-fi ships? One's really, really, really stupid.
I don't know. I mean, I know that the Falcon is much faster than most. Like,
Now, Falcon's probably about mid-range on this list.
I don't know.
Like 2/3 mid-range.
Where's
So
the heart of gold? Is that up there?
so the TARDIS is at number one
No,
because
not the TARDIS, the heart of gold.
Heart of Gold. Oh, Heart of Gold is I think top 10.
Okay.
That because that one is yeah, that one's really fast.
Yeah, it uses an improbability drive.
Yeah.
It's my favorite though is the Starship Bistro math though.
Mm,
I mean, come on, that's cool. Like it uses a, the way like you go into the bistro on the ship,
mm,
and then you like you play with your food or you send it back if it smells weird. And these are all the equations
mm,
because if you look on a waiter's thing where they're adding up all the bills, the numbers don't make sense and there's some kind of weird thing. So
mm,
it's the mathematics of a waiter's bill,
mm,
and the algorithm is you going there and being like ordering this and sending stuff back and
mm,
toying with your food,
mm.
and that's how like the ship crosses the by using the mathematics of a waiter's
That's fucking weird. Um,
pad.
no,
Well,
but
it's that or the heart of gold, which uses the improbability drive. There is one ship that's faster.
mm,
It's powered on like the fastest thing ever,
mm.
which is bad news. So the problem is like they tried to build a ship that was powered on bad news, but by the time they got to where they were going, no one wanted them to be there. Bad news.
Right, bad news. Um, so I think TARDIS is at number one. Spaceball one is usually number two.
Oh really?
Right? Spaceball one.
Did they say how fast?
No, but it's one of those YouTubers that just like calculates everything, and they're fun to
No,
watch.
how do you work out that
Ludicrous speed. I don't know how did they come up with ludicrous speed, and then Futurama, the Planet Express ship is
Yeah,
usually running up like the top three.
because it moves the universe around it,
Yeah,
and
like
its engines work at like 200%, and then he's like that's impossible. Like you can't go past the speed of light, and he's like that's why we increased the speed of light back in this time.
that show's way too smart. Didn't they create
Yeah.
their own math to solve that one thing with the brain
Yeah,
swap?
it was that one where they swapped bodies. They
Mm.
created because they're all like mathematicians or some shit.
The Harlem
And so they
Globetrotters
actually
are.
created some kind of new like algorithm or something
Mm.
or theorem that like so they could solve that problem with just one additional like person.
Mm.
And it's like they didn't even bother to explain it, but like they showed the math, and it was like Jesus Christ. Like, I like the fact that the Harlem Globetrotters are like also like the smartest people.
Right? Anyways, we have, my goodness gracious, 3 minutes. Oh, when you get a chance, send me that planet builder thing that you talked about a while ago.
Oh yeah, well, it's a lot to send, but it's I'll see what I can do. Maybe I can take some photos of it.
Mm.
It's from the Traveler book.
Oh,
It's like
I thought it was like a website that.
No,
like-
no, no.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like, it walks you through how to build it. Like it's pretty cool though. I created one, like like whole system and stuff like that.
Nice.
That game's really cool. Like,
Well, here,
I didn't realize.
send me the link to the. Hmm?
Go ahead.
No, send me the
I
link to
just
the book, and I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, sometimes when you're DMing, I feel like there's a disconnect and you don't realize that your players are having a blast. But like everyone's told me since I DM'd, I didn't even finish the game, but they were like, "Oh, you know that one game we played, Traveler? That was like the best game." And I was like, "Really?" Because I was kind of surprised because it's a good game, but there's not. I would have liked to have played a pre-written one first before I started making up my own,
Mm,
just so I could get a feel for things like combat and stuff like that.
mm,
Because a lot of it's like, I don't know, it works. It's so alien to like how D&D works that I was just like,
mm,
kind of thrown off by it. But the cool thing is, it does have cool ship-to-ship combat,
mm-hmm,
and also it's got rules for trading
mm-hmm,
because you need to like make money. So like you get a ship, but the ship puts you in debt immediately,
mm-hmm,
and so you got to make money to pay back the ship.
mm-hmm.
So the easiest way to do that is you stop at a planet, you go down, you buy some shit, and then you put it into your cargo hold. You can also like if you have a nice ship, you could like luxury ship, you can take people. You can do all sorts of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you travel to another system, and then you try and sell off that stuff, and then you get money from the person that you travel. I created a custom ship. I gave them 3 options.
So the limitation is the expense of the ship. Like that's like the parameter.
Well,
Okay.
but like also like so the like it has a ship builder, right? So I gave him 3 options. I sat around and built my ideal ship, and I said you can use this one, and you because they basically before the game starts you buy a ship, and so I'm like you can have this one. This cost X amount, and for that ship, what I did is I gave it the fastest. It's the smallest shell possible. But I gave it the fastest possible in-system engine that it could have. It wasn't that fast at light. Like every ship is the same jumping, but if you have more in that engine, you can jump further. So it had a short, but nothing could touch it in terms of like once it was in system, it was the fastest.
So that's funny because I have Quantum set up like that, where there's yeah. Anyways.
So yeah, and then you have to have like rooms for everybody because like basically when you travel you all go into your room and you close the door and then you're just chilling in your room for like whatever it is a week while you travel between things because you need to like seal in the door.
Why do you why do you need to seal in the door? Why
I think it's like air or something like that. And then like you can have there's common rooms so like you can go in there for like lunch and stuff, but generally like you stay in your rooms. I think it's been a while since I played. But then there's like individual rules for like space to space, ship to ship combat, and then there's rules for when you're on planet side. And yeah, so the ship I created was the Beowulf, or I said they have pre-made ships that you can choose from, so you could also do that. Or if they wanted, they could build their own ship, but it takes a long time to build a ship, so they just went for the Beowulf that I built. Yeah, like the only person who wasn't happy was Joe because Joe wanted to have like this super giant ship,
of course,
ships inside.
Of course,
I was like, that's cool, but like that's gonna be a lot of money to pay back. Like you know, you're a small crew on a small ship. It's gonna be a lot easier,
right?
And their ship is badass. It was I gave it like a backstory. I'm like. First, because it's an old ship, I was like, well, it was it was an experimental ship, which was turned into a combat ship, which is why they had the combat errata on it, and then a noble bought it and turned it into like a luxury ship. That's why it was like nice enough to have people on board. It had a small cargo hold, but still big enough that you can make enough trading with it. So it was an ideal ship, and like it saved their ass on more than once because it also had. Because it was a military ship, had really decent gun and really decent armor. So it was fast, armored, and it shot well. It wasn't as big as the other ships, but it didn't matter. It was faster than them. So like anything that they didn't want to fight, they could just be like,
"Yeah, peace out."
Yeah, like nothing was as fast as this thing.
Right.
It was badass. But yeah, there was a lot of cool stuff you could do in that game. It was just like the armor was weird because it was like like in D&D it's like you have an armor class but you can still hit them. With this one like you have to like if the armor is just that much better than the other person, like nothing they can do hurts you. And so I didn't know like what I should be giving to the players, stuff like that, like those little nuances of learning a game. It's a cool game. Yeah, I'll send it. It's called Traveler, but I'll find it in my stash.
Nice. We should probably
anyway. So yeah,
wrap it.
That
Yep. Oh my goodness! For everybody who watched, thanks for watching. Smash like buttons, all that fun stuff. Tune in next week. We're talking Oppenheimer, Arya Stark versus Spock. Ooh, champion, right? Or he's number 2 spot, right? Or is he number 1 Spock?
Spock is in second place.
Second place? Okay.
With 4 wins. Arya's never fought before.
First time fighter. Yeah, we like to thank all of our supporters, every last one of you, ups and down, the Robs and the Richards and everybody in between. We do like to end the quote with a nerdy Frosty. Mr. Yeah.
Also, watch Oppenheimer.
Yes, watch Oppenheimer. Lead us to the promised land, Frosty.
Okay. Conan, the most powerful warrior ever.
Oh God.
In his quest to undo the spell of Livingstone cast upon his family by driving the evil serpent men back into another dimension and vanquishing their leader, the cruel wizard Rathamon.
Conan the Adventurer.